Happy Monday, everyone. And Jeremiah and I are twinning today.
We are. I didn't even realize that. I was getting ready to say we're both wearing gray.
We are. We're super boring. But
hey, this was the first one I grabbed. I have a series of these polos. They're all different colors.
Yep.
I got like a blue, a purple, a gray. I got one that's like white with purple stripes. And
Isn't it funny when you find like a shirt you like, you're like, I'll just take every color.
Yeah, no, that's what I did. That way I could
do
just,
the same thing.
if I want to look a little more dressed up, but not so dressed up, you know, like Pete Wilson with his button-up shirt and long sleeves.
Yeah.
I can wear
he's
one of
got to have the
these.
pocket so he can put his...
Yeah, no, I don't have no pockets.
Yeah,
so.
no, yeah. Well, anyway, welcome. It is Monday. Jeremiah is here first to do news today. We're changing it up a little bit.
Switching up a little bit today.
Yeah, that's right. You have a lot of exciting stuff to talk about. First off, we did have a fun contest that we did last week for Father's Day.
Right.
So I want to announce the winner. And our winner of the Main Street TV Facebook contest is Rebecca Joanne Sharp. And there she is. And here's what she shared with us. I have 3 amazing men in my life: my dad, my stepdad, and my husband. My favorite memory with my dad is any time involving a fishing trip or a ball game he was coaching me for, and meeting my babies for the first time. With my stepdad, probably when we both got our Jeeps and went riding for the first time off-road, and also watching him meet my babies for the first time. And my husband, my favorite memory of him as a dad is holding our babies for the first time. Isn't that so sweet?
Yes.
So, Rebecca Joanne Sharp, I think she did pick up her prize pack already, so congratulations to her. And thank you all for participating in our fun little contest.
That's
because we always have a good time with that kind of stuff. So Jeremiah is here. We're going to do some news. But first off, Adrian says we have a message, and we'll be back right after that with some news.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
All right, and we are back with Jeremiah. And I said, do you have something major? And you said,
I have something huge.
Huge.
So we had some huge news happen over the weekend. It's been years in the making, Jen. I actually looked back. It was first kind of announced in 2022 was when they first kind of announced this.
Started
but they really
working
didn't,
toward it.
That's when they kind of announced that was the vision of this project.
Who came up with this?
I'm going to get into that.
Okay, all right. I'm wondering. I was wondering about that.
It. So on Saturday, June 14th, the Oak Hill Area Chamber of Commerce unveiled the world's largest acorn sculpture in Central Memorial Park in Oak Hill. And we have a photo here of this is Chamber Director Curtis Strickland working on getting the final touches here. This was Saturday morning. So they installed this acorn like 6 o'clock Saturday morning.
So it wasn't even there.
It wasn't even there
right before they unveiled it.
So they installed it and put it up there. If you haven't been down to see it yet, it's something to see. We'll show real quick. I got a 30-second clip of them pulling the tarp off, okay? There was a short program led by Oak Hill Chamber President Curtis Strickland there. You can see him doing the final touches when I got there Saturday morning. And they did a dramatic grand reveal as the employees from Romar Metal Fabricating, who is the local business that constructed the acorn, they pulled the tarp off. They got it in a lift on top and pulled it up.
Oh, how fun.
Unveiling the acorn to the community. There was a good crowd there, and we'll go ahead and show that 30-second clip here and then come back and I'll tell you some more about it.
World's largest acorn.
Yay! I was
That
beyond
is so cool.
I was beyond excited. You know, I looked. I've written like somewhere between a little over a dozen stories about this acorn gin.
I mean, it looks very top heavy. That's such a little stand for it to be on.
Well, the hollow, it's hollow. Inside's hollow.
Okay.
And like it's so neat to see. And like I said, I wrote over a dozen stories. They first started talking about this project in 2022. I found an article that Red Thompson Jr. wrote at a commission or at a chamber meeting talking about this project, wanting to do it. And then I took over and started covering those meetings, and they announced they were going to start fundraising. It was in April of 2023.
And I think that they were like, oh, we don't know if we can do it or not.
Yeah, and they started fundraising. A bunch of different people. You can see all the different names of the different donors there on the sign. But they had also got a grant from the Ohio Arts Council.
Yes.
Towards this $10,000 grant.
So
somebody from the
cool.
Ohio Art Council was there on Saturday to see the
unveiling.
Were? Yeah, so that was
Fun.
neat. A big part of the community come out to see this unveiling. But there's a picture of me and the acorn. But it's so cool, you know, to have one of the world's largest items here in Southern Ohio.
So
there's
fun.
all kinds. I looked it up, and he kind of went over those. Let me look here real quick. He said, you know, there's all kinds of different. These may not necessarily be in Ohio, but you know, Curtis, he goes on road trips during the summer, so he'll be going on one of those here soon. And you know, he's been to there's the world's largest rocking chair, the world's largest ball of twine, you know, the world's smallest church, the world's largest belt buckle. There's just all kinds of stuff all across the United States.
Yeah, right.
And there's a bunch here in the state of Ohio that I looked up, and it's neat that we'll be having one here in the village of Oak Hill added to that.
And if you don't think for a minute that is going to create tourism, you're sadly mistaken, because people literally seek that stuff out.
Right. Yeah. No, they have plans to put signage out on the highway and stuff to get people to the village of Oak Hill there.
Sure.
So they installed that Saturday morning, and I got to watch some of the pictures and videos after the fact, which they had told me. The guys from Romar, so they craned it from the street, over the fence into the park, installed it, bolted it. A guy had to climb inside the bottom half. They lowered the top half on. He had to bolt it from the inside.
Oh, how'd he get out?
Through like where the stem is.
Okay, so, that's terrifying.
Yeah, he climbed out the stem.
Where's Bob? He's inside the acorn.
Right.
Weird.
Yeah, no, it was wild. And but anyway, Curtis was telling everybody in attendance, he said that this idea was actually first thought of by one of his 3 sons.
Really?
Who was less than 10 years old at the time. He said that, you know, they had visited the world's largest popcorn ball in Iowa, and they were getting grass across the street and picking up some snacks. And he said to me, Dad, why doesn't Oak Hill have something like this so people will come visit Oak Hill and spend money like we're doing? Is what is
out of the mouths of babes, man.
Is what is
so
you know,
funny.
and then that's where this come from. Which is, you know, a lot of people I saw comments are like, why an acorn? Well, you know, the Oak Hill Union Local School District is the home of the Oaks.
Right.
Their mascot, Archie, is
Oak
an acorn.
Hill.
Yes. And,
Hello.
did you show some of the other pictures? I know I've been rambling. So here is the chamber with Archie the acorn, who is Oak Hill Oaks mascot. And there from the left, that's Archie. And then that's Curtis Strickland. He's the president of the Oak Hill Chamber of Commerce. Next to him, that is Judy Hamilton. She was the secretary for a period of time. She just resigned from that position because her and her husband are moving out into Western Ohio. They sold their home and everything. And next to her, that is the vice president. That is Bruce Barkhurst. And next to him, that is Karina Dickinson. I think I said that right. Dickerson. And she is the new secretary for the chamber. They just appointed her at the last meeting. And then you have Brian Moore, who is a member of the chamber and has been really involved with this project.
Yep.
And some details about the acorn for those that are curious. So they were trying to beat out the world's largest acorn, which was in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, I bet we ticked off Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yeah, so ironically, you know, Raleigh is named the City of Oaks.
Okay.
Okay, and that's why they had the acorn, which they commissioned in It was like in the 90s during a special anniversary year.
Okay.
And then, Oak Hill's Acorn was commissioned in 2023 during the 150th anniversary of the Village of Oak Hill, better known as the Sesquicentennial.
Good job.
We had a lot of practice saying that year, didn't we?
We did.
So the Oak Hill, or the North Carolina acorn, stood 10 feet tall and weighed 1,250 pounds. And now it is the world's second largest acorn, Jen, because Oak Hill's acorn, you ready for this? It stands at a height of 15 feet and 5.5 inches, and it weighs 2,835 pounds. That's over 1.4 tons.
Oh, my God.
They had it weighed by the Ohio State Highway Patrol was able to weigh it with their equipment that they have.
That's so cool.
And so it's more than double the weight of the one in North Carolina. And as far as like the diameter of the acorn, it's 11 feet, 3 inches. And they were able to, do some math to figure out that it is 50,625 times larger than an average-sized acorn. So
did you say 50,000?
50,625. And this, I thought this was kind of impressive too.
The facts are so cool
it
about
is so
this
neat.
whole
Yeah, when you had the facts on this.
Like I was reading the sign. I think you guys had posted pictures of the sign, and I was reading some of the stuff.
The stats.
Really
on there.
neat.
It is really neat. It's held together with 40 bolts that are each a 1/2 inch in diameter and 1.5 inches long. And is made of 20 panels of 14 gauge cold rolled carbon steel. 20 steel panels are being held together with 5,916 inches of welds. And the person that did all the welding was by one person. That was Seth Mercer of Romar. And
very cool.
You were talking about how big it was there. They had to pour a foundation. The hole was 3 feet in diameter and 5 feet deep, filled with nearly 2 yards of concrete. And then I thought this was an impressive stat too. I don't think this was on the sign, but over 500 man hours went into designing and constructing that acorn.
Yeah, I mean, we see the finished product, but there's a lot involved in the planning process of that. I mean, putting it together and designing it and all of that.
Right. And we'll have the complete details on some of the other involved parties, like the architect and
Yeah, like someone has to do the math.
Somebody painted it. Did all that. I will say that the gentleman that talked from Romar, it was the son of the owner, Dylan Newsom, and I thought this was interesting. They didn't have this on the sign either. He had a note in here about, let me see here. Did he have, is it on here? He talked about like how many actual acorns would fit inside that acorn.
Oh God!
But I don't see that on here.
They should have stuffed it full of acorns before they shut the lid.
Gosh, it's not on here. But he did talk to me about that. I wish I would have wrote it down. But it was like a big number.
I'll bet.
The actual acorns. But anyway, super cool. They had a bunch of dignitaries on hand. You had State Representative Stevens down there and his wife Julie on behalf of Bernie Marino. You had a representative from David Taylor's office. There was a representative from John Huston's office. You had John Kerry was there, so all kinds of different people. I'm probably leaving people off because there was just such a crowd down there of individuals. But that was about the acorn.
I wonder if they've made it, I wonder if you Google it, if it comes up.
It does come up. If you go Google just world's largest acorn, it now pops up that the world's largest acorn is located in Oak Hill, Ohio. And it used to say Raleigh, North Carolina. So I thought that was pretty cool.
New world's largest acorn.
And a lot of the contributing
is in Oak Hill, Ohio.
Yeah, and a lot of the contributing links, if you look, come from us here at Total Media and the Telegram.
That's so
which is cool. And it is on Google Maps too. I was
just getting ready to map it,
You can map it on Google. It's not on Apple yet. I went on Apple and tried to add it. I don't know if it'll be considered or not, but it has been added to Apple, and I added some pictures. I don't know who added it to Apple. I think one of the chamber members did. Or no, Google. Somebody added on Google Maps, and it does come up when you search the world's largest acorn. It pops up in Oak Hill.
I typed in on Maps on Amazon or on Apple, and it comes up.
Oh, it does.
Yep.
Click on it. because it wasn't there yesterday when I looked. Well, that's good.
It is now.
Maybe that. I wonder if that was my submission.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll have to look.
Oh, I wonder if I think it takes a couple of people to
do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good.
You should have tried getting.
I'm sure some of the chamber members probably did it as well.
Yeah. The Sixth Sense Brewing Company moved around the corner. That was fun.
Oh, yeah. No, I understand.
They wouldn't believe me.
I understand.
Yeah. Anywho.
All right, but that was a big
That's
thing,
so cool.
putting Oak Hill on the map there, and I do think there will be a lot of people that will visit that. I mean, I was there like an hour and a half, 2 hours after the fact because I was just kind of taking it in and just kind of chilling, which I was working on some of that map stuff and trying to put it out there in different places. And you wouldn't believe the amount of cars and people just stopping by after. Like, everybody was already gone. The park was empty. It was just Acorn. But people kept swinging in and getting out and taking pictures.
That's so fun.
So,
I mean, think about, like, the Mothman statue.
Right.
And some of those things that, I mean, people make it a point to go. People come to Jackson to see the Apple Tower. I mean, it's just, like, really cool.
It's neat. You got the big Acorn in Oak Hill now, and you got the Apple Tower here, and it's neat, the kind of stuff we have in the county.
You got it.
A couple of little things I want to touch on real quick here because I know I'm probably running out of time. So on Friday, I don't remember what the date was on Friday, but on Friday I was out at Hammertown Lake for a ribbon cutting, and we got a video clip of
it's Friday the 13th, remember?
It was, yes, Friday the 13th. And if we can show that video clip here of the ribbon cutting. This was out at the new kayak paddleboard kiosk that was stationed out there.
Yes,
so cool.
Such a cool thing for our area.
Yeah, so the Jackson, I don't want to call it the wrong thing. Jackson County Conventions and Visitors Bureau held a ribbon cutting out there, and we got a clip of that.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Woo! Yay!
So there you go. So that was a ribbon cutting. You can see Kay there with the big pair of scissors. Kay Howe, she is the chairman or chairperson for the Jackson County Convention and Visitors Bureau. And you can see there was folks joining them out there for the ribbon cutting of that new Whenever Water Sports self-service rental kiosk. Okay.
Yeah. So now that is off of the
it's on the Shelter House
Jisco
side.
West,
Yeah,
side.
if you go out
Jisco West and turn right.
Like where the Shelter House is. Yeah. They got a couple new swings out there I noticed that weren't there last time. It's been a while since I've been out there.
Yeah.
I used to do some fishing. It's been a long time since I've gone fishing. And they have this on that side. There's should be another picture besides this. They also had another picture of the it was last year. They had I think a ribbon cutting out there for this new
the kayak launch.
Yeah, the kayak launch,
which is so convenient.
No, there was an additional one. There was like a lady carrying a boat out on the. Yeah, here you go.
There you go.
So this makes it super convenient to get those kayaks out on the water with the launch. You can see this lady here. Those kayaks out there, they have little wheels. They have a wheel, just one wheel on the backside that helps you move that big kayak out. So they have, it was like 4 singles,
really cool.
2 tandem, 2-person, and then they had like 2 paddleboards out there.
Okay.
And we should have a picture of me too. So here's a picture of them utilizing the launch there for the kayak.
Okay.
I actually got to do this too. We'll see a video on that later. I got to work on getting that produced. I hadn't had the opportunity, been busy. But here's a photo of me out on the water.
You made it.
Yeah, Kay Howe was pushed me that direction. She's like, I'm gonna get you one out. She goes, you can go out. She goes, do your video out there on the water. Show people how easy it is to do the kayak launch and get back on. And it was very easy, and I didn't get wet or anything.
So, tell us, Adrian, put that of the lady in the kayak, please. That one.
Yes.
So tell me how, because I don't know. How does that work?
So
do you how do you, because obviously she's sitting on something.
So like you carry your kayak out there, okay?
Okay.
And you set it down into this launch. And the launch is low enough that it's, kind of in the water there, but not so much. There's little slots, and you take your paddle and you put it in that slot, and you just kind of pull yourself forward. So you put it in, pull yourself forward, and eventually you're out in the water.
Okay.
And you do the same thing on the other side.
Back?
Yeah. So I circled. I went in just a big circle in my video that I did, and went all the way around to come around to the backside behind where she is. And there's slots and there's handrails, so you can grab those handrails and just pull yourself up in there, and then use your paddle to put in those slots to pull yourself back to the center again.
So what keeps the kayak from, like, it just sits on there when you're getting in and out of it?
Yeah. No, it's not so much. Like, it's up out of the water at that point where she's setting, but once you get so far over, you kind of just drop off in there.
So you have a video showing you getting in and out of it. Okay, because I'd like to see how that works.
No, I'm going to produce a video from out there, and you guys can show it sometime on Mainstream
that would
TV.
be great.
I just haven't had the opportunity to sort through all the.
Because that's the problem. Like, if you're uncoordinated like me, I've only been kayaking out there once, and I did really well. And then when I went to get out of the water, this was with the old. The old boat ramp.
Right.
I went to get out of the water, and I was fine, and then it slipped.
Right.
And I just
I didn't have any trouble getting in or out of that launch. I will say, put the one picture of the one with the lady wheeling it out there. I will say that that corner there is a little gnarly to get that big kayak out there. Okay.
Turn on the L.
You got to bank that corner. Yeah, that L of the corner. You got to bank it real good to get it, so you and the kayak don't end up in the water.
Okay.
I have video of me not taking it out because Ethan Crabtree, Amanda's son, was gracious enough to take mine out for me. But I brought it back because I just wanted to see how hard it was.
Right.
And I had to take a couple attempts of backing up
and turning the corner
and back it up.
So you were Austin Powersing it.
Yes, to get it around that corner. I told her, I said it needs a little more of a landing there in that corner so that you can.
Swing around there. Yeah.
But you don't have to use that. I mean, there's a boat launch right there, or the water's right there. You can just put the boat in and
jump in if you
can.
Jump in.
I mean, it's kind of shallow right there.
Depends on whether you're coordinated or not.
So that's really cool. We're working on a story on that. I know Pete was in.
My kayak is floating away.
Yeah. No, you don't want that to happen. But they had that ribbon cutting out there to kind of mark that occasion. Cool. If you haven't been out, I think it's like 2 hours for like $25 or something. I think they're running like a promo now where it's like an hour for like 15 or 16.
Yeah,
but it's all self-service. There's like an app you download.
Try it.
And you scan like barcode, or there's like QR codes, and like it unlocks. And people's like, well, where's everything at? And I'm like, well, it just unlocks. And I'll be able to show you a lot of that on the video when we get that.
Interested in seeing that.
Get that done. Real quick, and I'll get out of here because I know I got to go cross town. I got a dentist appointment this morning. It's my 6-month checkup. So
fun.
Hopefully, I always have the rotten luck. I'm one of those people. I go in and they clean me, and then they get done. And they're like, well, it looks like you got a cavity coming in. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But the last time I went, I didn't have any. So
good boy.
Hopefully this time I won't either.
You must be brushing real good.
I try. And I floss and all that good stuff. So wanted to give an update about the Austin Powder situation. I was on the ground and out in Vinton County on Wednesday last week. So on Friday, I reached out to the company to ask about where they were on all that, if there had been anything more learned. As we know, I know Pete was in and talked about it. It happened on Wednesday morning, June 11th. And, the employees there at Austin Powder's Red Diamond plant near Zaleski was forced to evacuate after the release of the chemical compound known as nitrogen oxide, which you had saw there in the photos. And also the township residents nearby, as well as the village of Zaleski, which is a few miles away, had to flee and were evacuated as well. And, as we know, they manufacture explosives out there at that facility, which is located on Power Plant Road, northeast of MacArthur. And I don't know if you saw, but that news there in little old Benton County made local, state, and even national headlines.
Kind of a big deal.
I saw it on ABC Tonight and CBS, and all these big news channels. It was crazy. And but anyway, on Friday when I reached out, their PR person got back to me and was able to provide an update about that out there. They say that the release was caused by decomposition of nitric acid in a 5,000-gallon storage tank due to elevated temperatures. And they said that the company noted that it was important to note that the the nitric acid remained fully contained throughout the event, and there were no leaks or spills of the acid. However, a modest amount of nitric oxide gas was safely vented through the plant's built-in safety systems. Okay, and which operates as they would, which operated as they were designed to do so in an event of this nature. Austin Powder reported that it was, considered controlled release to prevent more serious consequences. This triggered the company's emergency response protocols. So because of what happened, I guess, with the elevated temperatures, with the nitric acid, it was vented, which that's what that tank's designed to do.
It did what it was supposed to do.
It was unexpected, I think.
It was just weird.
But at the same time, it was controlled because none of that acid got out, but the gas did get out. So it was kind of like I guess something more serious could have happened if it wouldn't have been able to. I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
And but that was on Friday. I was able to get that release on that information. They did say that obviously all that ceased. Wednesday afternoon, the gas cloud had ceased.
I mean, any word from the EPA on whether we should be concerned? Or?
So everything from that they've said. From Austin Powder and even the health department, they say that all information indicates no contamination of drinking water or soil. And that was in a letter put out by the president and CEO of Austin Powder, John Rathbun. And he put this letter out to the residents of Zaleski on Saturday over the weekend. And where this incident happened, Jen, they say the plant remains stable and it's under continued observation. And they're working with the Ohio EPA and other authorities, and they're supposed to open today.
I was gonna say, are they back?
The plant is
again?
supposed to reopen today, if not today, later in the week.
Okay.
But they, in that release that they sent us on Friday, they said the company is giving paid time off to affected employees during the temporary plant closure, and reimbursing employees and community members for qualified expenses related to the incident. And they said that if residents who were inconvenienced by the evacuation, they can get a hold of Austin Power for reimbursement. But it has to be like a reasonable... They gave some examples in the letter here out to Zaleski. It says, if you incurred expenses due to the evacuation, such as a hotel stay, gas, or other reasonable cost, we want to make it right.
Okay.
And the number you can call is 216-839-5469. Or you can email claims@austinpowder.com to discuss reimbursement. But I thought that was good of them that they were doing this. The health department has put out a list of, following this. We're going to get this typed up for Wednesday's Telegram, but I can hit kind of, there's like frequently asked questions following the incident. They're
I can see that.
Is my well water safe to drink? And it says, we have not received any reports or information indicating that there are any issues with residential drinking water wells at this time.
Okay.
And it says, we have been advised that it is safe to drink water from your well. This includes agricultural wells for animals. And then somebody said, should I be concerned about my garden?
Yeah, no, I mean, that was the one that I thought of.
Yeah, and they say we have not received any alerts that the release could have negative effects on gardens or other crops. So, and there's other questions here too, like, is it safe to be on the creek or nearby rivers? We are not aware of any notifications or restrictions on recreation waterways. It says if you have concerns, you can contact the Ohio EPA Southeast District Office for specific questions regarding to surface water quality.
Okay.
So, but there's a series of questions here that have been asked, I guess, by community members, and we will get those typed up in there. But wanted to give that little update on that because I knew that was kind of a big thing. Like I said, when I was up there Wednesday, I'm glad I went when I did and ended up at the fairgrounds. It was like me, and there's like all these like big cameras set up, and here I'm over here, just the little local guy, and there's all these big state and nearby state news outlets out there. And
all the Columbus news and
we're just like, what's up? But I like knew all the people on the route, like I recognize
like,
people, but
where are
they don't
we
know
right
who
now?
I am,
Yeah.
But it was neat to be up there and be a part of that, and it'll definitely be something I will remember.
For sure.
I never did see the cloud in my travels up there, which they had the roads closed and everything.
Yeah.
So you couldn't really get anywhere near, but from my understanding, kind of that cloud of glass all stayed kind of over the Austin Powder property there. So I guess it could have been worse. And as far as we know, there hadn't been any adverse health effects, and I don't think anybody has ended up in the hospital or anything.
Okay. Well, we hope not.
Yeah. That we know of.
For sure.
So, okay. Well, I'm going to get out of here, and I'll turn my chair over to the next person or whatever we have coming up next.
Okay. Well, I do think we have... Are we going to do a message and then we have a music video?
Other way around.
Okay. we have... so coming up here is the Southern Rock Woodstock, and I think we have a music video from somebody that might be performing there, named John Alien. So we have a video, and then we'll be back with our good friend Cheryl, and we're going to talk about some fun stuff. We'll be right back. was trippy.
Wow.
Super trippy.
Wow.
The Mustang is like a
flying Mustang. It's like something out of
thing.
Back to the Future. Like, lots of aliens. Yeah. Lots of aliens. Not just John Alien. There were lots of aliens involved.
There were.
In that one. So he's performing at Southern Rock Woodstock in August. Yeah, I saw that over the weekend when we were at Silver Screen. There was an ad for it. So there you go. You got a preview of Southern Rock Woodstock for free.
Exactly. Free of charge.
That was something. So.
Yeah. All right.
So I have some exciting news.
There we go. Oh, wait. Do we have messages we have to play?
Shoot, yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll be back with my exciting news.
Wait, I'm not the one that always yells. It's you. We'll be back.
From breaking news to heartwarming stories, the Telegram is your ticket to the latest buzz in town.
Read your daily dose of local headlines, sports, and entertainment and more, in hand and on paper.
Get a print and digital subscription for only $7.95 per month. Delivered fresh every Wednesday and Saturday.
Visit thetelegramnews.com or call 740-286-3023 today.
Don't just read the news, be a part of it.
Saturday, August 16th is Southern Rock Woodstock in the Gallipolis Fairgrounds. This event will feature 3 decades of original artists and legends, such as Leonard Skinner, 38 Special, and Molly Hatchet. In light of this event, Total Media will be giving away 4 VIP tickets. For a chance to win these exclusive passes, comment your favorite Southern Rock song, and our staff will vote on which one is the best. Good luck, and may the best man rock out.
All right, see, Adrian, I remembered. We are back with our good friend Cheryl, and so this is like, you weren't supposed to be here.
No.
Brittany was supposed to be here.
Yes, so right now I'm Brittany. I'm channeling Brittany.
But listen, we are so happy Brittany is not here because...
So exciting. So exciting.
It is so exciting. So Brittany... This is really a bizarre story. Yeah. Brittany and her mom are both waiting on kidneys.
They're both waiting on kidneys for 2 completely different kidney diseases.
Absolutely. And so both very, very in need of kidneys. Well, we announced here that our sweet Lily here in the Stockmeister Plaza was a match with Brittany. So Lily is actually giving... Yes. Brittany one of her kidneys the end of this month. Yes. They're going to do the surgery. Yes. Well, Brittany's mom was waiting on a kidney, and Brittany is not here today to tell what she wanted to tell because her mom got a kidney.
We are so excited.
Is that not crazy?
I brought her post because it just... literally, I still
chills.
have, I
like,
do. I still have goosebumps.
Chills.
I still have goosebumps about this.
Yes.
Because when I read that last night, I was like, oh my, I literally screamed. And Eric's like, what is going on? I'm like, oh my gosh, let me read this to you.
Yes.
Because we are in the plaza, we are so excited about Brittany's kidney, but this took it to like a whole nother level. So.
Absolutely. Like the chances are just it's just crazy.
Yes. So it says, my mom, Kelly Potter, got a kidney. So it says, it was such a wonderful surprise this past Friday when a little before 5 a.m., OSU called her with a kidney offer, and the details were too good to refuse. Due to her being such a difficult match because of her high PRA, the fact she matched with a deceased donor kidney made her a top priority for this particular kidney. So we sped to Columbus, and by the evening, she was out of surgery and doing great. Since then, the surgeons have all said her new to her kidney is working the way it should, and she's even been getting up and walking around. What? The fact that my mom and I are getting our kidney transplants within less than 2 weeks of each other is something I couldn't imagine even if I tried. I cannot find the words to describe how elated and grateful I am that my mom was able to get her life-saving kidney transplant from someone who chose to donate life. Because someone chose to do a most selfless final act, I get to have my mom around, dialysis-free, for a longer amount of time. So, just the most incredible news that we could share this morning. I mean, that just...
It's so awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's... Like, you can't make this up.
No.
This whole story is just unreal.
It's crazy. So, yeah, so they sped to Columbus on Friday morning.
Wow.
And by Friday evening, she was out of surgery with her new kidney. I mean, it just.
This is why donating life is so very important.
Yes, so amazing. And Brittani gets her kidney next week. Yeah, next week. The end of next week, 24th.
Yeah.
Which is Eric and my anniversary.
Oh.
Yeah.
So see how I love when a plan all comes together.
So it's pretty amazing. So she had scheduled a fundraiser for this Friday night, Kidneys and Canvases, and her friend Matt is he hosts paint nights. There you go.
Matt is an amazing artist.
And so
he's been here before. Yeah. You know Matt Wilson.
So he graciously offered to host this for Brittani so that they could fundraise for transplant costs, because although insurance covers a portion of it, there are other costs involved. So costs such as staying in, family staying in the hospital during the surgery, food while they're traveling, gas money back and forth to Columbus. We all know at $3 a gallon,
absolutely,
that goes up like super fast. Their care afterwards. So if they need to, Uber Eats in food while they're recovering,
right, for
all
sure.
those kinds of things. Somebody to help them around the house. So they wanted to hold a fundraiser on Friday for these types of costs. And so it is still going. It's still going to go on.
Okay.
In spite of all of this stuff, it's still going on because they still have the same costs. So we want to remind everybody that it's happening this Friday night. It's at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6. It's at Park's Edge on Main Street, right next to between Stockroom 601 and Manpower Park.
Yep. The old Ponderosa.
And
we'll never outlive that.
It's a great venue.
It is
and we're
amazing.
looking forward to it. And it's being held by Matt Wilson. And guests will be guided through a fun and relaxing painting session. No prior experience needed.
Nope.
So whether you're artsy or not.
He's right. He's a
artsy,
genius.
Not artsy,
Yep.
not. Whether you're a first-time painter or a seasoned artist, you'll leave with a beautiful masterpiece and the satisfaction of supporting a meaningful cause.
Absolutely. And
So-
again, this is to help those girls out. And all this was planned not knowing if they were ever going to get kidneys. And here they are within 2 weeks apart.
Yeah. This was planned before Brittani got her news, before her mom got her news. It's amazing.
It's a miracle.
Brittani just moved into her own apartment.
Yep.
In the middle of all of this as well.
I know.
I mean, there's just so much going on. And whether you know Brittani from when she worked at Family Dollar, or when she
here at
Zip Printing, or
yes.
Total Media, or Apple City, or she does comedy at Stockroom. She hosts for Lori when Lori can't make it to trivia. Whether you just know her from the community, I mean, Brittani is just. She's just Brittani. She's just Brittani.
A doll. You just love her.
And everybody deserves to lead a long, healthy life. But they just so deserve this.
Yes.
And yeah.
So how do you get more information about this or sign up for it?
Yeah, so we'll put the link in the comments.
Okay.
There'll be, whether you're painting or not, you can still stop by. There'll be food and drinks for sale. There's an auction. There's a silent auction going on. Lots of stuff that was donated. I donated a bunch of Disney stuff. I know that other people donated stuff to her as well. So there's going to be a big old silent auction going on. The painting, there'll be a cash bar on site if you want to just come and drink and hang out with us. I mean, that's pretty awesome too.
Chill.
It'll be fun because it's going to be fun because it's a bunch of fun people. So
exactly.
And we're celebrating. I mean, that's what the coolest part about it is.
I know this is
we
going
are
to be
celebrating. This is a huge party, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Who knew that when this was planned that it would turn into a celebration?
Yeah. This is just so.
Oh, love it. Well, thank you for sharing all of that this morning.
And hopefully Brittani will be in at some point during the week. She's up with her mom in Columbus right now. So she might pop in at some point during the week. If not, she'll be there on Friday night. And
Unbelievable.
So big old.
What an amazing story.
Yeah, and keep them both in your thoughts because they still have a road ahead of them in getting the kidney working and a lifetime of this. So
it's a thing.
So exciting.
Yay! So please participate, and if you can't be there on Friday, do something to help. If you feel it in your heart, because
be an organ donor. I mean, if nothing else, consider being an organ donor. Brittani's mom, Kelly, got her kidney not off a live transplant, but by somebody who passed that had chosen to be an organ donor. So
I just don't. I don't even want to preach. I
Consider
don't
it-
understand why you wouldn't be, but
consider it, and also make sure that your loved ones know that you want to be an organ donor, so that the process can move as quickly as possible. I have donor bone. Pretty much, I mean, the whole body ends up being used, and I mean, you're not using it anymore. I know that some people have some philosophical reasons for it. So,
I
but
understand,
just,
and you do you, and it's okay. But consider it.
Yeah, consider it. I mean, if it's within your religious or your philosophical compass, then seriously, consider it. Put it on your driver's license. Make sure your loved ones know. If you have a living will or trust, make sure that it's in there as well. I know that when we did our living will, we made sure that that was in there. We know that our kids know that we want to do this. Because it's just important. It's
For sure.
It's a way for you to live on.
Yeah.
For another generation, basically. So,
Yep. No,
Yeah.
you're exactly right.
Yeah. So
Very
very exciting.
cool. Okay.
Still goosebumps.
I know. I'm like,
and not
got,
just
like,
because
the
it is
chills over
always
here.
cold in the studio. If you've never been in the studio, it is always freezing cold in the studio. But there you go. It's these are Brittani chills.
Yes, these are good news chills for sure. All right. Well, I think, do we have another message? Okay, we do. And then some of our summer interns are, well, one is back from the other day, and we're going to meet a new one.
And he's got some firsthand knowledge of some local news.
That's exactly right. We're going to find out all about that. So we'll be right back.
Did you know Jackson is home to a locally owned and operated full-service print shop? Zip Printing covers all your print, signage, and design needs. From business cards, booklets, and posters to yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, oversized signage, and more. We can help you or your business advertise and look good doing it. Zip Printing also offers logo design. Allow us to assist you in building or elevating your brand today. Zip Printing is located in the Stockmeister Plaza at 708 East Main Street in Jackson, Ohio. So stop in or give us a call at 740-286-3023.
All right, and we are back with some of our street team, and Kenton is back. You were here on, was that Friday?
Yep.
Okay, Friday, and we chatted a little bit, but you were privy to seeing the world's largest acorn, so we're going to find out about that here in a minute.
Of course.
But who's our other member here?
I'm Sean. I've been working with Total Media for almost a year now, and I joined the internship and the street team to kind of get more experience going around and seeing everything.
Well, welcome, Sean.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm 17, and I'm currently going to Jackson High School, and I'm a senior there. And
Okay.
after school, I'm going to continue working with Total Media and hopefully start my own photography business.
Okay. So
Are we good?
are you good at that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love photos. I love
Really?
images. I love taking photos. I love seeing them. There's just something about it.
Very cool. Well, we'll talk to you a little bit about that. I want to know firsthand, because you were there and you put your eyeballs on it.
I did.
The world's largest acorn. Was it as impressive as we all assumed?
You know, it actually was. It was
Like, yes.
like I was kind of like nervous about it because I didn't want it to be like
A disappointment.
yeah, but I mean, it was a big acorn. But that seems like I don't know. It was actually really impressive. The people who made it, it was super nice. A lot of the materials and money was donated by different organizations and companies. So it's definitely a nice addition to the Central Memorial Park in Oak Hill.
Absolutely. And, as we said, Jeremiah and I were talking about it. Like, I mean, it will bring tourism to this area. And if you think it won't, you're crazy, because people drive around the country and look at stuff like this, like the world's largest whatever, tennis shoe. I don't know.
I definitely didn't know what to expect, but I think it probably turned out the best it could have. So that's
and
good.
yeah, exactly. So I was like, not in my mind, I wasn't sure how to how to visualize what it was going to look like. So when I actually saw it, what I had in my mind was not at all what it actually looks like, but it does look exactly like a ginormous acorn.
It's great, and the unveiling ceremony was really fun. Archie the acorn was there. There were the people from the sports shop were selling some world's largest acorn merch. So
really?
My brother's got some. I need to stop by and pick me one up. But
so where is that you can buy a world's largest acorn T-shirt? I feel like I need one of those.
I don't know if I just call it the sports shop. It might be called like Sports and More or something, but it's just the local sports shop in Oak Hill. So
it's Oak Hill. It's not hard to find.
Yeah.
Is it right on the main drag?
Yeah, pretty much. But sell them in black and gray, and it's pretty nice design. So
what does it look like?
It just has a drawing of an acorn. It says world's largest acorn, and I think it might say Oak Hill on it. But they also have like
so fun,
like stickers for your car and stuff. So if you're going on vacation, people will be like, "World's largest acorn?
World's
Where's
largest
that?"
acorn. Don't drive to North Carolina because you're going to be disappointed now. Because it ain't there anymore. I mean, it's still there, but it isn't the world's largest anymore.
Which is actually really cool what they do with theirs, because like on New Year's Eve, they'll do like a ball drop with the second world's largest acorn, and then they'll like move it around the city. So
it's not like affixed?
I don't know. I think some dude made it like in his garage or something. But the one in Oak Hill is stationary and hopefully not leaving anytime soon.
Hopefully. And I thought that the signage that's there with it is super cool because it tells so much information about it.
Yeah.
Like who did it. I know like Premier Painting painted it. Romar did the fabricating. There were obviously engineers involved in designing it and architects. So
yeah. They said that they had the concrete was poured and the bolts were there for a little while, but then they had to like lift it over the fence with like, I don't know,
like a crane kind of thing.
I'm assuming in two pieces, and they had to bolt it down. Some guy to get inside of it and then like do the rest. And I was like,
let me out.
I was like, is he still in there?
Did anyone check to make sure he's out?
I'm not sure, but hopefully he's out of there. But
well, very good. Sean, did you get to see it yet?
No, I haven't been up there yet. I need to visit that.
We definitely need to make a road trip down there to see it for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So tell us, what have you been doing with Total Media so far? And then what are you looking forward to doing this summer with the street crew?
Mostly I've been doing the sports section where we come out and stream the high school games. For basketball, football, bass fishing, baseball, all of that.
That keeps you busy.
But
there's a lot of that.
Summertime, there's no sports going on, so I joined the street team, and we're going around doing a lot of events and getting a lot of videos, photos, and just news coverage for Total Media. Mm-hmm. And recently, I've been going to a lot of the pride parades around here. I went to the Athens one. I went to the Jackson's Pride at the Park. That was Saturday. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going up to the Chillicothe one, and I'm going to do that.
Okay.
But I also went to the Starbrick Music Festival.
Yes.
That was really nice. It was a really nice place. There was a big barn, and it had it was like an indoor spot for the music, and then there was also an outdoor spot.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There was a bunch of shops in there and everything, and like there was homemade like furniture. There was like clocks, mirrors.
Lots
and then
of
on the other
vendors.
side, there was a bunch of clothes, and it was really nice.
That's so fun.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get to see any of the entertainment?
I did, and there was a lot of local bands playing there, too. It was a really nice set there. And that went from, like, noon to midnight.
Oh, my.
It got really dark out there.
That's a long day, dude.
Yeah.
Well, very good. So what are you hoping so you said you do photography.
Yeah.
So what do you like to take pictures of?
I kind of just like more shots capturing the moment, like people doing things, like in motion. I kind of like to capture someone's whole personality in a single photo. instead of like just like seeing, like I don't want to just have like a shot of like a mountain. I want someone there.
Like hiking up the mountain.
I want it to have character and have that person and show a story in the photo instead of it just being something bland.
Love that. I have no creativity in my body, so I'm very envious of you. So you'll be a senior this year at Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have another year. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm happy to leave. Happy to start kind of the start of my life, I guess. But I'm
different
also
chapter anyway.
Very, very different chapter. Hoping to stay here, hoping to continue pursuing photography. That'll be really great.
Very cool. And what have you learned by working here?
I learned that there's a lot that goes into streaming and sports and just general news. And I've learned that you need to do everything you can to kind of minimize errors and keep control of everything that you can control. So that way you're not messing up and you're not doing something that's going to affect others badly.
You know, and the thing about media, here and streaming and all that stuff is, equipment is ever changing and, social media and all of this stuff is so ever changing. It's so hard to keep up with all of it. And you guys have to keep up with all the newest, even software and hardware and all that. It's really wild.
I think it's one of the most fastest changing kind of places to be in, especially on the business side.
Yeah. So, well, very good. So you guys have anything wild you're doing today?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. You're going to go home and stare at the world's largest acorn again?
Yes, it's just can't take my eyes off it.
Oh, we got a picture of the shirt. Okay. Free plug for them. Home of the world's largest acorn.
That's a pretty cool photo. Those are good shirts.
Heck yeah.
I don't know if I should get the gray or black one. That's why I didn't buy one at the ceremony, because I couldn't pick which one.
I don't know. Get one of each.
I might have to.
There you go.
Get a whole wardrobe of it and just wear one every single
day. Other day, rotate back and forth. I love it.
Represent.
All right. Well, guys, thank you for hanging with us this morning. We appreciate it. It was really nice meeting you.
Nice
and
to meet you too.
Have a wonderful summer and senior year, and I'm sure we'll be seeing more of you.
Probably.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, we do have to get out of here for the day, and we appreciate you all tuning in, and we will be right back here tomorrow. So we'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
See you later.